Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive into something kind of cool? We're checking out Remove.bg today.
Yeah, it's been getting a lot of attention.
Right, I mean, who hasn't seen those ads all over the place? The whole idea of just like uploading a picture.
And poof.
Poof. The background's gone?
Magic.
Well, not magic exactly.
Well, it feels like magic, right?
It does. But I'm thinking, as someone who's spent way too much time wrestling with Photoshop.
Oh, tell me about it.
It's like a special kind of torture, getting rid of backgrounds manually.
It is.
So the fact that there's an AI that can do this in like seconds.
It's pretty remarkable.
It's mind-blowing to me. So where do we even begin with something like this? Like, how does...
Well, first we got to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
The brains behind Remove.bg is a company called Kaleido AI. And they're like the AI gurus.
Okay.
Specifically in the field of computer vision.
Computer vision. So does that mean the AI like actually sees the image?
In a way, yeah. It's been trained
Oh, wow.
on a massive amount of data, like tons and tons of pictures. And it learns to spot those patterns
Okay.
and figure out what's the foreground, what's the background.
So it's like teaching a computer to see the world the way we do.
Exactly. But with like a crazy level of detail and precision
Yeah.
that we could only dream of.
So, okay, let's break this down. You upload a picture to Remove.bg.
Right.
The AI does its thing, and you're left with just your subject like perfectly cut out.
Yeah.
But what happens in between? Like, what's the actual process?
Okay, so picture this. The AI is looking at the entire image. Every single pixel, looking for edges, color changes, any visual clues it can get.
Okay.
And then it uses this thing called a neural network.
A neural network.
Which is like a super complex web of connections that process all this information
Okay.
to decide, okay, this part's foreground, that part's the background.
Neural networks. That sounds like something out of like a sci-fi movie marathon.
Right?
I vaguely remember that term.
Yeah, but they're not sci-fi anymore. They're the real deal. They're like the engine behind so much of the AI we use every day.
So in this case, the neural network is basically figuring out how to tell the subject.
Yeah.
Like a person, an object, whatever it is from everything that's around it.
Exactly. And the crazy thing is, it's getting smarter all the time.
Really?
Like, in the early days, it might have struggled with fine details, like hair,
Oh yeah, hair is tricky.
or like things overlapping the subject.
Ugh, don't even get me started on that.
But now, Remove.bg can handle even the most complex pictures with like amazing accuracy.
Wait, really? Like even if there's hair blowing in the wind or like a tree branch kind of in front of the person?
Yep. Stuff that would take forever to edit by hand
Oh, I can't even imagine.
and probably still look kind of wonky.
Exactly.
And that's why Remove.bg is such a game changer. It's not just doing a task, it's making a difficult skill
Right.
easy for anyone. Think about it. Professional image editing used to be like this exclusive club.
Yeah, only for the pros.
Yeah. You needed fancy software, tons of time to learn it.
Oh yeah, or like a degree in Photoshop or something.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But now, anyone with an internet connection can do it in seconds.
So you're saying it's democratizing design in a way.
That's exactly it. It's putting power in the hands of everyday people.
I like that. Okay, so before we get too deep into the philosophical stuff,
Yeah.
let's step back for a second. Who's actually using this thing? Like besides me trying to, make my vacation photos less embarrassing.
You'd be surprised. It's a huge mix of people. Businesses, especially online stores,
Makes sense for product photos.
need those clean backgrounds, right?
Right.
Then you've got marketers, designers using it for like social media, presentations, all sorts of things.
Okay.
Photographers love it for quickly isolating their subjects
I see.
or getting rid of distracting stuff in the background.
Interesting.
Even real estate agents are using it to make those property photos pop.
Wow, so we're talking like big companies with whole design teams and regular folks like me.
That's the beauty of it. It's for everyone. They've got an online version. You just go to their website, upload your image, done.
Easy peasy.
Then they have a desktop app if you're on Windows. And even integrations with stuff like Photoshop and Shopify.
Smart move. Making it work everywhere.
So how long has this even been around? Was it like an overnight success or?
Well, they launched back in 2018,
Okay.
and it was doing okay, but things really took off in 2020.
2020.
Remember what happened then?
Oh yeah.
Everyone went remote. Everything moved online.
The pandemic boost.
Exactly. Suddenly, everyone needed good images, and they needed them fast.
And Remove.bg was ready.
They were in the right place at the right time with the right tech.
Speaking of tech, how does it compare to the other big players out there? Like, is it a Photoshop killer?
I wouldn't say it's about killing any tools. It's about offering something different. Photoshop is powerful.
Oh, yeah.
But can be a total beast to learn.
Oh, yeah.
Remove.bg is all about speed and simplicity. You don't need a design degree to use it.
I like the sound of that. But what about the cost? All this fancy AI can't be cheap.
You might be surprised. They have a free version for basic stuff.
And the premium features are pretty reasonable.
Even for like small businesses and stuff.
Yep. They've really made it accessible to everyone.
That's awesome. So we've got easy to use, affordable, crazy effective, but are there any like limitations? Can it handle anything you throw at it?
Well, the technology's perfect, right?
Yeah.
It works best when there's a clear difference between the subject and the background.
Okay, that makes sense.
If you've got a super busy background,
right,
it might not be as accurate.
Okay, good to know. But even with those limitations, it feels like this has the potential to really shake things up in how we think about image editing.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just about removing backgrounds, it's about what that opens up.
What do you mean?
Like, entrepreneurs can make professional-looking product shots without hiring a designer.
Right.
Marketers can create eye-catching visuals.
Even if they're not design pros.
Exactly. Even regular people can make their photos look amazing, and that's just scratching the surface.
Okay, now you've got me really intrigued. What else can this thing do? And how does this all fit into the big picture of AI and like the future of creativity?
Well, let's dive into those big questions in part 2. We'll explore the wider impact of this tech and how it's changing how we create and communicate.
Sounds good. I'm ready for more. Okay, so we've seen that Remove.bg is pretty impressive on its own, but you were saying there's like a bigger picture here.
Yeah, definitely. What's really interesting about Remove.bg is that it kind of shows this larger trend that's happening. AI is becoming more accessible to like everyone.
Interesting. So you're saying it's not just for like tech geniuses anymore?
Exactly. It's not hidden away in labs or anything. It's in the apps we use, the websites we visit. It's everywhere.
So we're already using AI without even realizing it.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Yeah.
Think about those recommendations you get on Spotify or Netflix.
Okay.
Or how your email filters out spam.
Oh, that's a lifesaver.
Right. Or even that Face ID thing on your phone. All AI working behind the scenes.
I never really thought about it like that. But those are all kind of passive examples, you know? Like, the AI is just doing its thing in the background. But with Remove.bg, it feels more active. Like you're actually working with the AI to create something.
That's a great point. And that's what's so exciting about it. It's not just about automating a task. It's about giving people tools to be more creative.
I see what you mean.
No.
So it's like empowering people to do things they couldn't do before.
Exactly. Things that used to require special skills or expensive software, you know. And that has huge implications for how we think about creating content, marketing, even education.
So it's not just making pretty pictures. It's about giving people a voice, a way to express themselves visually.
Absolutely. Think about someone who's starting their own business.
Right? Yeah.
They want to showcase their products online. In the past, they'd probably have to hire a professional photographer.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then maybe a designer, too, to edit the photos. That can get expensive really fast.
Definitely not in everyone's budget.
Right. But now, they can just take their own pictures, remove the background with Remove.bg, and boom, professional-looking photos, ready to go.
All in like, what, a few minutes?
Exactly. And it's not just the cost, it's the time, too.
Oh, yeah. Time is money, they say.
Right. Imagine you're managing a company's social media. You need new images every day.
That sounds stressful.
It is. Or think about teachers who want to use more visuals in their lessons.
Keep the kids engaged, right?
Right. But who has time for all that editing? Remove.bg lets them do more, faster, without sacrificing quality.
So it's really changing the game for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's zoom back in on the tech for a second. We talked about neural networks before.
Yeah.
But I'm still kind of fuzzy on how you actually train an AI to do something as complex as removing backgrounds.
Well, it's pretty mind-blowing, honestly.
Yeah.
Basically, you feed the AI a massive amount of information.
Okay.
In this case, it's millions of images.
Wow. Millions.
And each image has a corresponding mask that shows exactly where the background is.
I see.
The neural network looks at all these images and starts to recognize patterns. What separates the foreground from the background?
So it's like pattern recognition on a massive scale.
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of like teaching a kid, you know? You show them tons of examples until they get it.
Right. But how does the AI know if it's doing a good job or not?
Well, that's where the training part comes in. It gets feedback on its performance.
Okay.
And learns from its mistakes.
So it's like a student taking a test and getting their grade.
Exactly. And over time, it just keeps getting better and better at spotting those tiny details and nuances in different images.
That's kind of scary, honestly. Like, if it can learn that, what else can it learn?
That's the big question, isn't it? And people are exploring that in so many ways right now. Self-driving cars, medical diagnosis, even writing novels.
It's like sci-fi becoming reality.
It really is. The possibilities are pretty much endless. And we're really just at the beginning.
Okay, that's exciting, but also a little intimidating. But let's come back to Remove.bg for a minute. We've talked about how it's empowering users, saving time, making pro-level image editing accessible. But are there any downsides, any risks we should be thinking about?
That's a really important question. Like with any technology, there are potential concerns.
Like what?
One big one is bias. Like if the AI is trained on a data set that's not diverse enough,
okay,
it might not work as well on images of people from different backgrounds or with different features.
So it could accidentally perpetuate existing biases.
Yeah, exactly. It's really important to make sure the data used to train AI is representative of the real world.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we have to be careful about the data that goes in. What else should we be thinking about?
Another thing some people worry about is the impact on, well, human creativity.
Okay.
Like, will tools like this make us lazy?
Oh, I see what you mean. Will we lose the ability to do things ourselves?
Yeah, that's the worry.
Yeah.
But I think it's more about using technology to, like, enhance our abilities, freeing up our time and mental energy.
So we can focus on the more creative stuff.
Exactly. It's not about replacing human creativity, it's about augmenting it. It's like a partnership.
Like a collaboration between humans and machines.
Exactly. The AI takes care of the boring, time-consuming parts.
Can we get to focus on the fun stuff?
Aha, exactly. The big ideas, the strategy, the truly innovative stuff.
I like that. So it's not man versus machine, it's man with machine.
That's the key. When we use technology as a tool to help us achieve more,
right,
that's when things get really interesting.
Okay, this is getting pretty deep, but let's circle back to Remove.bg for a sec. We've covered how it's empowering users, saving time, making design accessible.
Yeah.
But what are your final thoughts on this specific tool? What makes it stand out from all the other image editing stuff out there?
For me, it's the combination of simplicity, power, and accessibility. It's super easy to use, even for beginners. And it's using cutting-edge AI to do things that would have been impossible a few years ago. And it's affordable and available to anyone with an internet connection.
So it really is democratizing design, putting these powerful tools in everyone's hands.
Exactly. And that's what I think makes Remove.bg so important. It's not just a cool piece of tech. It's a sign of things to come. It shows what's possible when we combine human creativity with AI.
I love that. And I think our listeners are probably feeling pretty inspired right now, wanting to try it out for themselves. But before everyone runs off to edit all their pictures, I think it's worth taking a minute to really think about what we've learned today.
Absolutely. We started with this seemingly simple tool, an AI that removes backgrounds.
Right.
And somehow we ended up talking about the future of creativity, the ethics of AI, and the power of technology to change our world.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. And I think it shows how important it is to stay curious.
Keep learning, keep asking questions.
Exactly. Because the future of AI isn't something that's just happening to us. We're all shaping it together.
And on that inspiring note, I think it's time to wrap up part 2 of our deep dive into Remove.bg, but don't go anywhere. In part 3, we'll explore some even crazier possibilities and leave you with some things to think about.
Stay tuned because things are about to get really mind-blowing.
Okay, we're back. And you promised some even crazier possibilities.
Oh yeah, buckle up. If Remove.bg got you thinking, we're about to go down the rabbit hole.
All right, I'm ready. Give me the good stuff. What kind of creative superpowers will AI give us in the future?
Okay, so imagine this AI that can create like realistic 3D models just from a simple sketch.
Whoa.
Or tools that can compose music in any style you want, like perfectly tailored to what you need.
That would be amazing.
We're even seeing AI that can write scripts, create art, even choreograph dances.
AI choreographing dances. Now that's kind of freaky.
Right.
But I see what you mean. It's like, is there anything AI can't do?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? But I think it's less about AI taking over and more about AI working with us, you know.
Like a team.
Yeah. These tools aren't meant to replace artists, musicians, writers.
So they're more like partners.
Exactly. They give us new ways to express ourselves, explore new ideas, work together with machines in ways we never thought possible.
Okay, so it's not about humans versus AI, it's about humans and AI.
You got it.
That's a much less scary way to think about it. So how do we make sure AI is used for good, to help creativity not kill it? Where do we even start?
I think it starts with education. The more we understand about how AI works, what it can do, what it can't do, the better decisions we can make about how to use it.
So we need to make AI less mysterious, less intimidating.
Exactly. We got to move past all the hype and the fear and start having real conversations about the ethics, the biases, the impact this technology could have.
That makes sense. But it also feels like a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just one person. What can I really do to shape the future of AI?
Don't underestimate yourself.
Yeah.
Every time you use an AI tool, every time you talk about these issues with someone, every time you question the assumptions behind these systems, you're helping shape things.
So being aware and asking questions is already making a difference.
Absolutely. Yeah. And remember, AI isn't some far-off thing. It's already here. It's impacting our lives every day.
That's true.
The recommendations you see online, decisions about healthcare, loans, all sorts of things.
Wow, I never really thought about it like that.
The more we know about how AI is being used, the more we can make sure it's being used responsibly.
Okay, I'm starting to get it, but it still feels overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like, where do we even start? What can we actually do to make sure AI is used ethically and creatively?
Here are a few things you can do. First, stay informed, read articles, listen to podcasts, follow the experts.
Okay.
Second, support organizations that are promoting responsible AI development.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And third, be mindful of the data you share online. Every click, every search you make, it all feeds into the data that trains these AI systems.
So our choices matter.
They really do.
Okay, that's actually pretty empowering to know. So it's about being informed, thinking critically, and speaking up about how we want AI to be used.
That's it.
All right, I like that message. And it's important to remember, we're all in this together.
We are.
The future of AI is not set in stone. We're all creating it through our choices and actions.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. We started with this one tool, Remove.bg, and ended up talking about some pretty huge ideas. The nature of creativity, the role of technology, what it even means to be human in the age of AI.
Yeah, it's been quite a ride.
It really has, and I hope our listeners are feeling inspired.
I hope so too.
To explore, to learn, and to be part of shaping this incredible future we're all creating.
Absolutely. Because the future of AI is ultimately up to us. It's not something to be afraid of. It's something to embrace, to explore, to use for good.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into Remove.bg and the world of AI. Thanks for joining us today. Keep those questions coming, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep creating.